A new report out of the Wall Street Journal seems to indicate that Epic Universe is going to be open by Memorial Day. We've got a little extra information that the Wall Street Journal doesn't have on that. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place. And you guys want to talk about Universal Studios here, that Universal Orlando Resort? Well, let's go over to the Wall Street Journal. You know, sometimes when we talk about things like this, it comes from like the Disney Parks blog. Sometimes it comes from, that Scott Guston over there, or maybe a WDWNT, or even thatparkplace.com, which is an excellent place to go for your theme park news. We're growing our theme park coverage over there. But this one is coming out of the Wall Street Journal, and Robbie Whalen and Jacob Passy out of here. Universal plans early summer launch of new park with marquee Harry Potter ride. One thing I want you all to keep in mind here as we go through the idea of media literacy, Wall Street Journal is not a theme park blog, as I've already said. It is a financial paper, and so they are going to an audience that does not understand theme parks, may not even understand the difference between DC and Marvel, or they don't understand why Gandalf doesn't show up in those Harry Potter films. So you have to remember, this is not for a theme park audience. Wizard Battle Attraction is expected to be major draw as Universal takes on Disney. Universal is readying its attack on Disney's theme park stronghold in Florida. The company is planning for its 750-acre Universal Epic Universe Park to be fully open as early as Memorial Day weekend of next year. More on that in a second. Earlier than expected, with tickets on sale as soon as this month, according to people familiar with the matter. If successful, Universal's new park could be a major broadside in the theme park wars, which have intensified in recent years as live entertainment has become more central to generating growth at big media companies like Comcast's Universal parent company and Disney. That is, of course, Comcast owns NBC Universal. Therefore, the parks, Peacock, that streamer owned by Universal. There was a Bloomberg interview that came out recently in which Brian Roberts, the CEO of Comcast, chuckled about. He was asked about Peacock as opposed to Hulu and Disney Plus. Hulu and Disney Plus obviously being owned by Disney. He said that they have invested hundreds of millions of dollars into Peacock and made billions off of it. Where have they made those billions? Well, by selling their piece in Hulu over there to Disney. And sounds like they're going to get a few billion more. If you're following That Park Place, you know all about that. Universal said it hasn't yet confirmed an opening date. The timing of the planned opening could change. Meeting that Memorial Day target would enable Universal to take advantage of a full summer vacation season and would be a coup in the company's long-running rivalry with nearby Walt Disney World. Universal has had long said the park was likely to open in summer of 2025, though fans and theme park industry watchers grew worried earlier this year when the company rolled out a series of updates that listed the opening date as simply 2025. I've seen it go back and forth myself. There was actually a podcast that was listed on one channel as saying 2025 and another one that said summer of 2025, and the summer one was scrubbed. So we think they've known for a very long time when they were intending on opening. In the early stages of the park's opening, Universal plans to require that visitors purchase multi-day passes in order to enter Epic Universe. Travel agents briefed on the plans said those passes would also include admission to Universal's other theme parks, other Orlando ones, including USF. These agents said. So Universal Studios Florida, I believe it's Universal Studios Orlando, by the way, not to give you too much of a hard time there, or maybe it's Universal Orlando Resort, but that one, and of course Islands of Adventure. Is Islands of Adventure not getting a shout out here? Oh man, that's the better of the two at the moment. Universal Studios Orlando needs some love, gotta say. Ticket holders would be able to spend only one of the days at Epic Universe, in part because demand is anticipated to be high and the company wants to avoid overcrowding, they said. Just to give a little Disney history here, overcrowding or the threat of overcrowding has caused a lot of Disney openings to be pretty light. It's a fascinating thing that people that want to go and they want to enjoy it. There are the people who want to be there first days, often influencers, often those people who view this as if it is an achievement, clout, as it were. They'll want to be there on the first day. So if you want to be there at Epic Universe on day one, you're going to have to buy tickets. I think it's a 3-day ticket to go to Universal Orlando Resort, Islands of Adventure, and also Epic Universe. This approach could prod visitors into spending multiple days at Universal's properties and make it harder for some visitors to justify buying passes to Disney's parks during the same Florida trip. That's a very good point, which is a common move for many families. It could snatch about 1 million visitors from Disney during 2025 and 2026 and boost overall attendance at Universal's 3 parks. That would be quite the coup over there. Let's see. In the area by more than 8 million. Wow. That would be something. According to estimates made this year by Moffett-Nathanson, they're tracking the situation, and you'll often hear them chime in on not just Comcast, but also Disney's earnings calls. Both Universal and Disney have reported slowing growth for their theme parks division. Here we are. Revenue and income at Universal's theme parks both fell in second quarter from a year earlier, as many tourists were choosing to travel internationally or go on cruises instead of to theme parks, said Michael Cavanaugh, the president of Comcast. What's interesting is Disney has been forecasting softening. Demand moderation is the term that they used, otherwise known as lower demand, or people aren't as interested in going to their theme parks as they once were. Here's a lot about Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry, which is going to be set inside of, well, for those of you who are Potterheads, you probably are already aware of this, but I'm going to introduce this in a way that also acknowledges the dissonance here. This is the Wizarding World of Paris, set in the 1920s, but apparently you're going to be able to visit the Ministry of Magic through the Flu Network, and it's going to be the modern day, or the Harry Potter movie version of the Ministry of Magic, which will lead into the Battle of the Ministry ride. They're bringing back Dolores Umbridge for that one. Let's see. Ministry of Magic ride is aimed to be what is known in the industry as an intent to visit attraction, a ride that visitors consider to be worth the price of admission just on its own, says Jim Hill, who runs a theme park industry publication and hosts several theme park podcasts. It's a moonshot, Hill said. This is the one that I'm more interested in right here. Dark Universe, based on monsters from classic movies like Frankenstein and the Wolfman. There's a Monsters Unleashed or Monsters Unchained. They've gone back and forth on the naming of that one here. That looks like it's going to be one of the best rides in Orlando, if not one of the best rides in the world. Of course, there'll be a Nintendo themed land, How to Train Your Dragon. Trying to think, what am I missing? Celestial Park, which I often call Centennial Park. But as you can see, I can also be forgiven. Apparently, they called it Celestial Universe in this article. Not a big deal. It happens. So here is the additional information that I have here as your good friend over here on That Park Place. They say by Memorial Day. And I have information that I'm not allowed to get specific, but I have a source that tells me it may be quite a bit sooner than that. A few digits on the calendar might change, in fact, on their opening date. My discussions with them were before Hurricane Milton, but it might be quite a bit earlier than that, to the point where there's no question that it would actually be maybe even before summer. So I realize I'm being vague, but I want to protect my source here, who is kind enough to share a specific date with me. I haven't followed up with them since Hurricane Milton, but I'm just saying here, maybe you're going to want to use your tax rebate on maybe your tax refund. Maybe that'll come back in time for you to visit Epic Universe using those funds. I'm not saying it's April 15th. That is not the date that I'm saying here. Anyways, I want to throw this to our commenters. What do you think about this Epic Universe finally opening up in summer of 2025? That's a great exclusive there from the Wall Street Journal. Congratulations to them on telling people how to invest their money. Of course, no financial advice here on That Park Place. Like this video if you like this video, and of course, consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.